With us now, NBC News business and data correspondent Brian Cheung, NBC News senior White House correspondent Kelly O'Donnell, and former Florida Congressman and MSNBC political analyst Carlos Curbelo. Brian, how are the markets reacting to, and we're seeing that up about 900 points in the Dow, to these comments? And I'm just wondering, what are the comments that the stock market is reacting to?
Yeah, well, the stock market is clearly reacting positively to these developments, signaling that the White House might be open to taking down the temperature on the tariffs, specifically on China. You can see that the Dow Jones, as you just pointed out, is up pretty significantly in trading this morning, currently up about 2.3%, or the equivalent of about 900 points. The S&P 500 also up about 2.8%. Now, it's not enough to reverse the overall slide that we've seen so far. Year to date, the Dow Jones is still down almost 6%. But the big story here is the commentary that we heard from the president in the Oval Office yesterday, where he suggested that the 145% effective tariff rate on China is not kind of a permanent solution here, and that he could expect that number to go down, although not all the way down to zero is what he said. I do want to point out that it's not that these are hinged to any specific discussions with the Chinese. It's not necessarily the case that there have been high-level conversations. In fact, we don't even know if there are conversations at all. But nonetheless, the posturing from the United States, at least, having waged this tariff war on China, does appear to be something that maybe he's taking a step back from and suggesting that he would be open to lowering those tariffs and maybe lowering them relatively soon. We'll have to see whether or not that's backed by conversations with the Chinese. But we're hearing the Treasury Secretary speaking today, suggesting that he could be open to conversations as well, not just with China, but with 100 countries is the number that he lobbed out there as well. We'll have to see whether or not any of those discussions turn into actual trade deals, Jose.
And so, Kelly, do we know what the president is doing as of right now vis-a-vis the tariffs?
Well, it's interesting the way you phrase that, because the president right now is on the north lawn of the White House, which is highly unusual because it requires shutting down the park across the way. There's a little video of him there a short time ago. He came out with these gentlemen and he was walking the lawn, something I've never seen him do before. Caught my attention when I saw a change in the posture of the Secret Service. I hollered to the president, "What are you doing, sir?" And he said he's looking for a place to put a new flagpole in the front, the north lawn, the front lawn of the White House, and another in the back. I presume it will be a gigantic flagpole. Then he went over to an area right at near the entrance to the residence, and I could tell by the boom poles from our audio folks that he must have been talking to reporters. We had tried to wave him over and so forth. We'll turn that around and give you, I don't know what he said there because I was standing here. But on the matter at hand, I don't know if a new flag in the North Lawn will have anything to do with the discussion we're having on tariffs and the economy. But it does give you a window into how the president is spending part of his day today, and something that he thinks is important in terms of how he is changing this administration. On the matter of his relationship with Elon Musk, we've certainly seen how that has been central in many ways to the president's plans when it comes to government cutbacks and what they call government efficiency, reducing the federal workforce, canceling contracts, doing other things to save money. Musk, who is having some difficulties with the Tesla stock price going down, did talk about the fact that his time as a special government employee, that's a designation that allows 130 days of work for the government before financial disclosures are required. Here's how he talked about his time here winding down.
Starting probably in next month, May, my time allocation to DOGE will drop significantly. So I think I'll continue to spend, a day or two per week on government matters, for as long as the president would like me to do so.
So one of the questions about that is he will reach the 130-day limit at the end of May. So how he would do a couple of days a week at the president's discretion is unclear to us in terms of what mechanism that would be. You can't just volunteer to help the president. You can certainly informally advise, but what would that look like, and in what kind of role would he have? What authority would he have to do that? So those are some question marks going forward. The May timeline fits right in with the special government employee. So that's not a surprise to us, but the fact that he sort of spoke about it in the context of what's been going on with Tesla certainly gives us a sense that he is seeing a change in how he will devote his time to the many demands on his time.
Yeah, and Kelly, a few things to understand. The president is speaking now, as you just said, and as soon as we get his what he is saying, we will turn around and bring it to you. But Kelly, I just want to take a pause. Do you know how extraordinary you are as a correspondent and a journalist and everything else?
Well,
you
tell
said,
me more, Jose.
I saw the president, and I immediately shouted my questions out to him, try to bring him in. That's the mark of
First
the
rule,
true...
you must always have a question. Must always have a question.
Exactly. Doesn't matter if he's close or far, you either shout it or you whisper it, but that question's got to come. And that's why you are as great as you are, Kelly. But Carlos, let's talk back about this issue as we wait comments by the president, which I understand is related to the tariff thing, other than the flagpole. Do you see a change in either strategy or communication from the White House? Because let me tell you this. What Wall Street has been experiencing for weeks now is just a disaster.
Yeah, this is definitely a shift, Jose. It is a reaction to financial markets, but it is also a reaction to political markets. Remember, the two big issues last election for the president were, number one, tariffs, number one, the economy and inflation, and number two, immigration. On immigration, the president still has the country behind him. There's broad support for his policies, despite some of the controversial actions that have been taken. On inflation and the economy, the numbers in every single poll that we've seen for some weeks now have been declining. In addition to that, you have congressional Republicans who have been frustrated with the president's tariff policy. So this is a reaction.